Welcome back. You're watching GlobalLens. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was among the first few world leaders to visit US and meet US President Donald Trump as he commenced his second presidential term this year. It was during that mega event that both nations launched a roadmap to bolster India-US relations. This blueprint spanned across defense, trade, commerce, energy security, and most importantly, technology and innovation to strengthen tech capabilities. Both leaders unveiled Trust, also known as Transforming the Relationship Utilizing Strategic Technology initiative. This initiative was set up to build emerging technologies in defense, AI, semiconductors, quantum, biotechnology, energy, and space. Both leaders committed to work with private players to put forward a roadmap to accelerate AI infrastructure by the end of the year. That's not all. It aimed at identifying financing constraints, building, powering, and connecting large-scale US-origin AI infrastructure in India, with US threatening India with tariffs and penalty. Will these long-term goals fall apart, or will both nations keep the tariff war and such initiatives apart? I spoke to Stephen Ezell, Vice President of Global Innovation Policy at Information Technology and Innovation Foundation. I started by asking him about the immediate priorities for India and the US in innovation and cutting-edge technologies.
Well, the U.S.-India Trust, Transforming the Relationship Utilizing Strategic Technology initiatives, is critical as the countries seek to deepen their strategic relationship by leveraging modern digital technologies to advance economic growth and national security. So there's tremendous opportunities for the United States and India to collaborate around innovation in areas like semiconductors, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, biopharmaceuticals, clean energy, critical minerals. There's a range of technology areas where U.S. and Indian companies and researchers can come together to develop the products and services of the future that will drive U.S., Indian, and Indian economic growth and employment growth.
Right. Stephen, there is a lot that India and US can do together. But currently, we've been looking at months of tension between the two countries. And now you have the US president imposing a 25% tariff for India and saying that penalties are coming India's way. And he's used very harsh language. This must be a trading negotiation. But how does this impact the momentum we had in our technology partnership?
Well, I think the most important thing to focus on and remember are the broader strategic objectives in this relationship. You know, one of the goals articulated in the trust effort was Mission 500, to double the extent of U.S.-India trade to $500 billion by the end of this decade. Now, certainly, tariffs could impede some of that growth. I think we should interpret the Trump position as a negotiating position. I think what we're seeing is that with most countries, the Trump administration is settling on 15% tariffs with places like the European Union, Japan, and Korea. I think we will get to that level with India. So while there will sometimes be bumps in the road with any relationship, I would encourage U.S. and Indian policymakers to keep their eye on the long-term prize. And that's the opportunity to collaborate in these strategic industries so we can drive much greater levels of long-term economic growth on a prosperous and collaborative basis between our two nations.
Stephen, what do we stand to lose if we do not collaborate on future technologies, including artificial intelligence, right now? If we allow the technology and innovation partnership to derail, what are the implications?
Well, artificial intelligence especially is a rapidly evolving technology that is going to transform virtually every field of the modern economy and the modern society. Globally, artificial intelligence is expected to add $20 trillion to the global economy by the end of the decade. For India, that growth is expected to be $1.2 to $1.5 trillion, with the opportunity to create as many as 2.3 million new jobs in India. So the opportunity is now, but there's a race among nations to achieve first mover advantage, to be the first who can leverage and take advantage and gain prosperity from these emerging technologies. So that's why it's important that the U.S. and India not miss this moment to work together to develop this AI ecosystem of the future. And across a number of areas, such as ensuring that India has access to the AI compute power and the AI infrastructure it needs, developing common interoperable standards, working together to ensure AI safety and cybersecurity. It's really important that the U.S. and Indian governments and U.S. and Indian companies work now so that we shape this radical AI and digital transformation to the benefit of both of our societies.
How do you see private sector partnerships between India and US being forged in the current environment? How do you see investments flowing between the two countries? What are some of the regulatory barriers which you feel that India must do away with?
Well, certainly India relies on access to cutting-edge U.S. semiconductors at this point. India needs at least 34,000 high-end GPU units to fulfill its India AI mission goal of developing a national India-specific large language model. So there's important collaboration around cloud computing centers, data centers, even the undersea cables that we need to move data seamlessly across the oceans to support data-driven AI innovation. So from a policy perspective, some regulatory issues or regulatory hurdles that need to be addressed to ensure that we can take advantage of the potential of AI first pertain to data governance. It's important that we put in place policies that enable data with the appropriate privacy protections to move seamlessly across the United States and India so that companies can have access to the data sets they need to train their AI models and build insights from them. So data governance standards will be critical. Another area of policy pertains to ensuring that we don't impose customs duties on e-commerce transactions. It's important that we not tariff when data such as semiconductor design, semiconductor blueprints move across our country. So preserving the WTO e-commerce customs duty moratorium should be imperative for both Indian and U.S. policymakers. India needs to invest more in scientific research. Its national R&D intensity is just 0.64%. Investing more in AI research will be critical. Lastly, AI is going to impact at least 40% of jobs. So policymakers and educators have an important role in ensuring that we have widespread digital literacy, that we empower individuals with the knowledge and the skills they need to be able to leverage modern technologies like artificial intelligence so they can uniquely add value in their workplaces and remain individually competitive and productive in a fiercely competitive global job market.
Right. My final question to you would be on the US-India Trust Initiative. We've not seen much headway on that because the trade negotiations have really overtaken everything right now. Do you feel that we're falling back on our future technology goals right now?
Well, again, I would encourage us not to lose sight of our long-term objectives. Certainly, when we consider the element of the Trust Initiative around accelerating AI infrastructure, the objective all along was to develop a roadmap by the end of this year, 2025, to expand AI infrastructure in India. That is certainly ongoing. But we are seeing areas where the initiative is starting to deliver real, tangible results. For instance, General Atomics and the Indian company Third Eye are now collaborating to build defense-oriented semiconductors in the silicon carbide part of the market, for instance. So we are seeing active, productive collaborations in the areas of defense and in space. When we look at semiconductors, there are education programs and research programs that have now been entered into between Indian universities and U.S. universities like Purdue to build out curriculum around semiconductor chip design, AI engineering. So we are seeing a lot of tangible results and tangible products from the Trust Initiative. And it's imperative that policymakers sustain these as we move forward.